Hello team, how are we doing? Nutrition Club is back. Sorry it's been a couple of weeks without a video, it's my fault. We've gone from having not a lot to do and being stuck at home to all systems go. Channel Essential event last weekend inside the gym office right now, getting the gym ready for the relaunch, which is great for the gym, but it has derailed our Nutrition Club slightly. So apologies for that. I'm going to get back onto it now. And this week we're going to be discussing fluids. It's the hottest day of the year, so it's a good time to discuss fluid and hydration and all things to do with water. But before we go there, let's just have a quick recap on what we've been discussing previously. We've been going on a bit of a journey. First of all, we spoke about calories. We learned that there's calories that come in through the consumption of food and drink, calories that go out from living and the exercise, and we all do lots of exercise here at Challenge Life, which is excellent. We just discussed that in order to put weight on, if your goal is to build muscle and gain weight, then we need to be in a calorie surplus where you're consuming more calories than you are burning. If you want to lose weight, then you need to be in a calorie deficit, so consuming less calories than you're burning or burning more calories than you're consuming. So you need to be affecting the balance so that you're either in a surplus or a deficit depending on your goal. If you're happy with your weight, then you need to worry about that less. We discussed that it's a good idea every now and again to track your calories. We discussed that in my experience that people tend to overestimate how many calories they burn, so it's good to do a tracker, and they underestimate how many calories they consume because they just don't put everything into the tracker. So if you've got a weight management goal, it's a good idea to use the apps and the tools that are available to track calories in, calories out. Then we started talking about the macronutrient groups. We started with carbohydrates. We learned that not all carbs are the same. We have a glycemic index where every carbohydrate has a ranking. We've got complex carbs on one side, which take longer to be broken down by the body, tend to be much more optimal. In nearly all circumstances you want more complex carbs. Very rare times that you need a sudden surge of sugar followed by a surge of insulin levels. Only really when you're taking part in sport would you be looking for refined carbohydrates. So the goal is to consume less simple sugars and more complex carbs, so the wheats and the grains and the pastas. After that, we discussed proteins. We learned that proteins are made of amino acids. Some of those amino acids are essential, can't be made by the body. So we need to be consuming higher quality types of protein. And then, not last week, but last video, we discussed fats. And we learned that there's different sorts of fats, saturated fats and trans fats, where we're trying to minimize, and then the unsaturated fats, or polyunsaturated and monounsaturated, where we want to try and consume more of them. So there's full videos about all of those, so you can go, if you missed anything, you can go back, look at the nutrition tag on this group, and you can see the previous videos. Okay, I'm going to be discussing fluids in general. 3 sections really I want to discuss, one of which is water, so we'll start there. Just a little look on Google to see what the current recommendations are in terms of water consumption for an average adult. 2 litres a day. So this is 1.5 litres, so we need more than one of them every day, and that's for a normal average adult. If you're doing exercise or you've got an active job, you're going to need more. Clearly on a day like today, incredibly hot, even more. So I don't drink that much a day, and I'm going to start from today, get back in a good habit. So I think probably most people know that we should be drinking more water, and that will be the homework. We'll do the homework right now, is to drink 2 litres of water a day. More if it's hot and more if you're exercising. 60% of the body is made of water. It's found in every cell in the body. We use it in every single chemical reaction, so absolutely essential. And Google informs me that we can only stay alive for 3 to 5 days without water, so we certainly need the water. Okay then, 2 more quick points on fluids. I am melting in this office. I've turned the fan off because it's making too much noise. So a couple more points. First of all, we have soft drinks. Now really what I want to do is just draw attention to just how many calories and particularly sugars are inside these drinks now. Now, clearly lots of people don't like drinking water, so they turn to soft drinks instead, and depending on the drink, there may still works for hydration. There's still a high proportion of water in the drinks, but do start to pay attention just how many calories, and say particularly the sugars that are creeping into the drinks. Now, we discussed in the carbohydrate video how that we want to consume more complex carbs and less refined carbs. The sugars will be what's in the drink. That's what giving it the flavor and the taste is the sugars. So do pay attention, and do have a look on the back of the label where it will nearly always say per 100 mils. You need to make sure that you're working out the actual volume of the drink. So if it says 5 grams for every 100 mils and it's 500 mils, you need to times that by 5 to see how many grams of sugar really are in that. So do pay attention, and it is about choices. This whole video section is not about me telling you what you should and shouldn't be eating. It's about drawing attention to some things that you may not have realized before. Because if you're not that bothered about a particular drink and you're just consuming it out of habit, and you can save some calories there and have calories somewhere else. I mean, if you like having cake or chocolate or alcohol, which we'll talk about in a minute, but you're not that bothered about the orange squash that you have, or orange juice is probably one of the worst. If you have a look at how many calories are in orange juice, where it's just concentrated sugars, which some people will say, well, you get vitamin C from that. You do, but there's a trade-off with that, with just how many calories in particular simple sugars that you're getting in that. So it's about trade-offs, and it's about having a look at the different products you're consuming and thinking, do you really want that in your lifestyle? Do you, if you love drinking Coca-Cola and that's your thing and you want to use the extra calories on that, then fine. But if you're not that bothered and you have a look how many calories in there and you'd have 2 of them a day, you could use those calories for something else, or you could create the calorie deficit with it if you so choose. So that's the one point. Last point, and I must get out of here, is about alcohol. We might do a separate video about this, maybe in the future. But really similar to what we were just discussing there, it is about choices in there. We know we spoke in the first video about calories and how there's 7 grams, there's 7 calories per gram in alcohol, nearly as high as fat. So alcohol is fattening in that sense. My point for this one, it's still about the lifestyle, of course. If you want to use your calories on alcohol, then you can save them somewhere else by eating a very clean diet. Not having sugary drinks does free up calories. If your goal is not to put on weight, you do have more calories for that. I'm not saying it's healthy, but if that's what you wanted to do, then fine. My point about alcohol is one more of, if you are drinking for the effect of alcohol, then you would be better off having purer types of alcohol. So things that are clean spirits like vodka and gin. You're essentially just getting the alcohol. There's not anything else that goes with it. Where if you're consuming things like wine and and beer, not only are you getting the alcohol, but you're also getting some carbs as well. So if you wanted to still consume alcohol and not have weight gain from that, or save more of your calories, then you're always going to be better off having more plain alcohol, less mixed with sugar. And just reminded me, I did actually write a blog about this some time ago, which I'll put a link out on one of our old personal training sites, which if you want more information about it, I think it was titled Get Drunk Not Fat, but I'll find that one. So yeah, that's my points on there. Have a look on the packets of soft drinks. I say, if you're not that bothered about soft drinks, then it's a good idea to remove them, and you don't need that extra sugar going into your body. And alcohol, just if you are interested in cutting down on your calories, but you still want to be able to consume alcohol, then the spirits are always going to be better than the beers and the wines. All right, that's it. I'm melting in here. So have a good week. I'll see you next week for another video. Take care.